warm welcome to all of you joining the second day of the Omics Research Symposium. To those who are joining for the first time, my name is Mohit Mazumdar, and I have a PhD in computational biology. And along with a great team, I'm heading the global business development and OmicsLogic in Asia. In this introductory session, we will start with the recap of day one, and it will be also a great opportunity for those who could not join the sessions yesterday. Our team is already working on the session recordings, and they will be soon available and will be posted on our social media and YouTube channel. So stay tuned and also subscribe on the YouTube channel to get notification about the videos. So as Sonalika already described what we did, and I think we did a lot. As I was saying that there was so much to learn yesterday from the experts from academia and research institutes about bioinformatics and its data-driven science and machine learning, why machine learning is hyped, and we talked about and saw the application. So we learned about applications, we learned from case studies and discussions on get trained, and what is the future of this field. So in today's session, as I said, that we will start with a recap. To start with that, yesterday we had Ms. Sonalika, like always, started with the OmicsLogic global portal and describing how we see bioinformatics, describing what are the different bioinformatics training challenges that are related to this tremendous growth in this field, enormous computational power requirements, lack of coding knowledge, faculties lacking the required facilities and the structure. So Sonalika explained how OmicsLogic addresses these by standardization, organization, and systematization, applying Bloom's taxonomy levels, seeing biology as data science, and employing the hybrid learning approach. So followed by which the session by Sonalika was followed by the introduction of Asia Initiative, which I did, and the team responsible for daily interaction and development of resources and collaborations across Asia Pacific. And then we discussed about that with the help of our international collaborators, partners benefiting from this community. And we announced the partnership university program yesterday. The partnership university program is designed for the university partner to benefit from the collaborative association with Pine Biotech and their partners. So this special program is designed by utilizing the best of resources which are hosted at learnomicslogic.com, includes the coursework, project-based training for beginners, intermediate, and advanced users, helping them achieve the objectives of bioinformatics or OmicsLogic data science and bioinformatics research training. The OmicsLogic partnership program, which we described in much more detail, we described that it follows a unique curriculum designed for personalized training and research experience that enables the participants to develop critical scientific thinking, utilizing modern bioinformatics and data science practices on industry-relevant problems. So the OmicsLogic program for university also follows a in-depth structure, which we went through by looking at one of the case studies where we describe the different stages and resources. The stages include basic training, example projects and coding, preparing to work on a project by practicing on various data sets and algorithms, and finally, to be able to work on your own research project or a faculty-driven project. So we piloted our OmicsLogic training with several universities, and we showcased a recent program as a case study that clearly highlights the effectiveness and the impact of the program. Now, this case study that we highlighted yesterday was about the collaboration and the partnership.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samvardhana.
Okay.
I'm a final year student.
So there's a video presentation which got played. But what I was saying that this collaboration and the partnership allowed students to work on their topics and interest and do real research on noble projects which were curated by mentors and experts. And also, as well as for the students to improve their ranking in college and get an impressive resume that highlights their achievement.
Hello.
And for those students, such as here Aditya Bajpai, and who has a research interest to work on several projects and to contribute to the scientific community. And as well as by working on pressing challenges that had made the society dysfunctional, such as COVID-19, and had a huge impact on well-being. This was said also by Dr. Ishan Gupta, the next keynote speaker, who started describing about the collaboration with AIMS New Delhi and his work, which explained like how what is the importance of Indian cohorts while studying the COVID-19 or while doing the COVID-19 research. And then COVID-19, which left so many people dead, had no molecular data, especially from the Indian cohorts. COVID patients have it got concluded to the fact that the COVID patients have lung microbiome dysbiosis. The lung microbiome distinguishes between patient types. So that's a way to distinguish between patient types, leading to the suggestion of patient stratification. So it was a very important topic and research that was highlighted by Dr. Ishan Gupta, followed by Dr. Suchi Nagar, who talked about various courses which are offered by the university, DY Patil University, and discussed genomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, metabolomics, what is omics, what are the branches of omics, and the process of bioinformatics analysis. So there was a lot of emphasis on the workflows, which showed the basic tools also like BLAST, Eugene, Mega, then finding out variation, then find what are the application in the in of genomics and transcriptomics in different fields such as molecular medicine, microbial genomics, risk assessments, bioarchaeology, anthropology, human migration. So there's huge application that we learned, that from DNA identification to agriculture to livestock breeding and bioprocesses. So I think the application that we learned from this talk was really helpful, and also the pathways. I mean, it's very useful for the students to know about this and maybe choose a direction. And that was followed by a great talk again by Dr. Anshu Bharadwaj, who was talking about genomics and its application and the current places and the shape it is taking. So she highlighted about the Human Genome Project, the global interest to understand human diseases and understand the genomic variations. What are the single nucleotide polymorphisms? What were the candidate genomic approaches and genome-wide association studies, and the global effort to catalog the genomic variation. She also shared a lot of resources, which I thought would have been very much helpful. And as I said, that these sessions will also be posted online. Then we had that very interesting educational panel discussion where we discussed about the new educational policy in India and the actual need for data science education, and got to know about from the experts that how we can have data science education being imparted to students through basic training and a project-based learning. And then we discussed about the new education policy and how it encourages the hybrid learning, and what are the challenges that the universities faced while doing the hybrid learning, and what are the main taking away points, positive points, and how that has led to a hybrid setting of education, which is very effective. Then we discussed about some of the promising areas where bioinformatics is needed in Asia and India, and also with the respect of academic standpoints, academic experts. So job opportunities in academia, and what are the different ways to do and go about this, doing a master's or PhD, and all of those questions were answered and discussed in detail in this session. Followed by that, we had a very interesting poster presentation competition that covered omics and bioinformatics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, astrobiology, space omics, computational biology, and pharmaceutical industry. So students were showcasing their work, and that were from various backgrounds and from various research areas. And that kind of concluded the first part of this day one. And then we had different panels. After the Asia panel, we moved to the African panel, and we learned from the panel where we learned about the OmicsLogic African programs, partnerships, and outcomes discussed by Ayanfe and Edikunle, where we learned about the bioinformatics tools and resources that have been provided, the data science for biologists program, and then discussion with the panel about all of these different topics, where we discussed about scaling bioinformatics education and training, and what are the future opportunities, and how bioinformatics is evolving in Africa, considering that it has such a diversity in its genomic makeup, considering the number of infectious diseases, and also the clinical information that we get from Africa is much more structured than in India. So these were some of the things that were highlighted. And then from the African panel, we moved to the US panel, where Mr. Brodsky, CEO, highlighted that what are the advances in enabling technologies, and then how bioinformatics and these events such as hackathon, and then the understanding of how bioinformatics is applied in wellness and health, then how to build a team, build an application, publish and share initiatives. He discussed about our initiatives in the US. He discussed about the virtual programs that we did, and also the research fellowship program, and our participation in EdTech Cup, leading to the semi-finalist position. And now we are moving towards that competition in this coming month. So that was the introduction and start to the US session, and we had follow-up important talks on scientific topics, which I think interested you, many of you, a lot. And for those who are joining for the second day, we have many interesting talks and industry input coming up, and I think it will be another very interesting and informative day for those who all are joining. So again, thank you all for joining today's session. We are going through a recap of what we did on day one. And after the Indian panel and after the African panel and the introduction to the US, Dr. Nikolai started, who is a senior bioinformatician at the Department of Biology, Lund University, Sweden, talked about the machine learning view of multi-omics data integration. He was discussing about the multi-omics integration across several features and several samples. He discussed about the hidden patterns in individual omics, and then he discussed about the curse of dimensionality, and also gave practical example from his lab, from his work, and to get an idea and work and know what they do. That was followed by another interesting talk, which was focused on bioinformatics application. So what we imagine for future is these dashboards, and these dashboards will give momentum and prove to be an excellent instruments for sharing biological data sets together with results. That is what Dr. Julia Panov concluded with. But she discussed about dashboard integration, a very important aspect of cloud computing, and doing this and developing these dashboards, which are like pipelines, which get answers, which give answers to specific biological problems. So she discussed about the easy data visualization and interaction, how it could be shared, allow easy navigation and analysis of different models, exploring ways to add code for R and Python. So these are some of the important aspects she discussed, and I think it was a great session, followed by the session by Elizaveta. She is a research associate at the Tauber Bioinformatics Research Center, and she discussed about the analysis of metagenomic data on T-Bioinfo platform, where she described about the KIME tool that we use to analyze the metagenomic data, and which is now available on T-Bioinfo platform, and gave an overview of metagenomics. How can you upload files? How can you run algorithms? And how can you design those pipelines and get outputs, and then understand by visualization, and again, the incorporation of dashboards. So this was from Tauber Group, describing about the advancements that have come up in the T-Bioinfo platform. Followed by that, we had the session which was about the forensic sciences, like how omics is now used in forensic sciences. So Dr. Sarah, she worked on interdisciplinary forensic sciences and integration of omics technology. She told us how the future research will be able to expand on these current studies, hoping for a leading to a wider implication of omics technology in forensic sciences, where she discussed about the application of genomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, and metabolomics for forensics, and what is STR profiling, which is the short tandem repeat profiling for identification of victims or perpetrators, and then what is forensic DNA phenotyping. And then there were a lot of keywords which would be really interesting for those who are interested in forensic sciences and understanding that from soil microbiome to all this omics data, how it is helping in investigation of horrendous crimes and sometimes other applications as well. Now, after this initial discussion and all of the keynote speakers, we had Lucas, who is an undergraduate student of statistics and is a representative of OmicsLogic team in Latin America, talked about his opening remarks. In his opening remarks, talked about bioinformatics education in Brazil and introducing the bioinformatics training, and how we are working on different courses which are now translated in Portuguese and will be available and is available for students who are more comfortable in the native language. Followed by that introduction, we had the speaker, Dr. Luis Sokamoto, who talked about the precision medicine in Brazil. The reality and the trends, and he's a precision medicine he's a pediatric oncologist, described about the pediatric cancer and frequency in children, the survival rate, the importance of childhood cancer for health system, and then what are the ways to do the molecular classification, what are the actionable targets using evidence-based somatic variation, and also shared clinical cases. Then we had this session about system biology. As Sonalika was saying, that we had so many different sessions from different research areas, where Dr. Kasturi Kanan, who is an associate professor at Translational Molecular Pathology, discussed about bioinformatics and cancer system biology. So system biology initiatives for brain tumor, how there is a unified goal to create a computational framework to integrate all available patient-centric brain tumor recurrence data to generate these hypotheses, which is more unbiased in nature because of the entire incorporation of data for actionable target validation and for predicting diseases outcome for initial clinical trials. So all of this was concluded with this panel discussion, which kind of summarizes that how to apply these technologies to solve challenges, as we saw in the case of Sarah, and then from Nikolai, from physics to life sciences, how he got fascinated and by physicians and clinicians to mine more knowledge, and how Dr. Kasturi talked about his journey and he got curious and get self-taught bioinformatics, and talked about what are the skill sets that are required by students, coding databases, and all of the tools that we are seeing is something that Ilya discussed. And this was, again, one of the sessions where we concluded all of this, and we discussed about how interdisciplinary fields are integrated with multi-omic strategy to evolve students in bioinformatics and data science, which is the future of healthcare and well-being. So from this, this was the recap of day one, and I hope that this recap is helpful for those who could not join yesterday or who could not complete all the sessions, as we had 9 hours of intensive talks and sessions for students from our global community, joining from India, joining from Asia, joining from Africa, joining from Europe and the US and Latin America. So I'm really excited that we had such a wonderful time yesterday, and now really hoping that after this quick recap, we are back with yet another day. And today we will hear about the perspectives of different researchers and industry experts from US and India and Africa. So today we kind of highlighted of some of our collaborators and industry collaborators. Many of them would be available today to help the viewers or the participants to learn about what are the advancements in the industry, how do you get into these different careers, and what are the opportunities, combining what we did with an industry, with an academia, and now learning from an industry perspective is a great way to go about the depth of where this is heading, and to be prepared. So today we will listen to our great panelists who are industry professionals from NEPI. As Sonalika has already described what we are going to do, and gave an overview. So NEPI and its network universities and institutions, as well as industry partners such as FABA, and bioinformatics companies such as Elucid Data, as well as NGS companies such as Prima's Life Sciences, to application-driven companies such as Oncophenomics and Equimind, and Mentis Hive, who are helping students transition to industry, will be some of the speakers and keynote panelists. So let's quickly take a look at what we are expecting and what kind of sessions that we will be having. So we will have our first session in few minutes, perhaps, with Dr. Jeet Sarkar, who is a physician scientist and would be talking about clinical informatics and use cases and challenges. We are really looking forward to the session, because you would be able to understand how clinical informatics is being applied in industry, and what are the opportunities as well. Similarly, then we go from there to Dr. Shibi Chakrabarti Kanan, who is an entrepreneur as well as a scientist working on so many different cancer therapies, almost the cutting edge technologies that are being used worldwide, and working from India and bringing some of these technologies and research in India. So it will be something that will be a great session for all of those who are interested in cancer research. Then we have Dr. Nidhi Quran from FABA, who are our very close collaborators in India, located in Hyderabad, and the network that FABA represents all the biotechnology industry and academia, where she will be talking about the different opportunities that FABA Academy is bringing, and how our collaborative work is also helping a lot of students and also universities to develop these programs where they can, where they can kind of bridge this missing link between academia and industry. That would help actually a lot of students transition from academia to industry without the struggles that we usually see students and through our own experience. Right now, after that, we have again a very interesting industry panel discussion, and that industry panel discussion will focus on some of these topics that you can see on the screen, that would tell us about the future of Indian healthcare sector, how bioinformatics in industry is different from academia. Like the questions that you would want to ask is that how to prepare for a job that you have thought of, that you have dreamt of in a company without the stated experience. What are the key points that recruiters notice in a CV? So there are a lot of opportunities to learn from these academic experts and ask your questions. And we will be looking forward to answer some of your questions, as well as the questions that we have prepared for the panel discussion. That will be followed by some of these important skill sets. And we have been discussing about the participation of industry and the skill sets. So Dr. Rajavarman Kittu will be talking about that. And then we have session from Miss Padiamoyo from Africa, talking about the diplomas and CPGR grant program. And then we have the like more of specialized sessions, which is for a larger audience who are interested in protein-protein interaction and how these grafted peptides are used as a strategy. And then bioinformatics in beauty industry, a very inspiring kind of a talk, and we are looking forward to learn. Actually, it's this new for many of us, that how bioinformatics is used in beauty industry, what are the applications, and then learn from speakers from University of Malta about the life science research in space. So how life sciences research in space is being done through Dr. Joseph Borg, who is an associate professor and principal investigator, and also working on single cell. So then we have the prize distribution ceremony for that from the students who presented and submitted their posters. And then we have sessions by the NEPI founders and NEPI directors. So Dr. Gus Kasulas, director of the Division of Biotechnology and Molecular Medicine, Biomed, and a renowned professor of virology, will be talking about the NEPI IDEA program. And then we have Ilya Brodsky, who will be also describing our efforts with NEPI network and what are the different expectations and outcomes that we have seen. Then we have some specialized sessions again, which is to understanding of viruses and microbes. So these are for those students or for those who are interested in infectious disease research. Then we have machine learning, where all of this research is being utilized further to develop models, models that could be predictive in nature. Then we have from bench to a computer, where we are discussing about application in cancer therapy by Dr. Emmanuel M. Ruiz from the LSU School of Veterinary Medicine. And then we have the panel discussion for NEPI, which will conclude the day 2, and where we will learn about the different aspects of how to improve the training that is across 23 states and Puerto Rico. So I think we are really, really excited for all of these upcoming sessions. And I hope that all of you who have joined us today and will be joining us throughout this event will be able to learn and will be able to ask and will be able to experience the discussions and the talks from our respected experts and dignitaries.